Hello! I figured I'd do another one of these collection video things by going through my actual game collection instead of just books related to games. So, here is the Super NES collection. It goes pretty deep in there. And here's the N64 collection, which also goes pretty deep. And the one Genesis game that I kept, which is Gunstar Heroes. But, I guess we're gonna go through the Super NES collection. Be forewarned, this may take a while. Let's look. Alright, we got Pitfall, the Mine Adventure. I don't think I ever liked this game, but okay, well, it's in there. Some of these came as hand-me-downs, so not all of them were bought by me. Donkey Kong Country. Hard to go wrong with that. Back when Rare made games instead of connected things. Still worth a play. Secret of Evermore. Now, this was strange. Everyone thought it was going to be a sequel to Secret of Mana, but it ended up not being. So, when we all bought it, we all thought it was going to be multiplayer, right? Well, no, you're wrong. You don't get any multiplayer because they decided it's not going to have any. And I believe Squaresoft's US division developed this, so it was completely against expectations, and it didn't do well as a response. So, that doesn't mean it isn't a good game, it's just not a Secret of Mana game, and, you know, your expectations will dictate those sort of things. I have a copy of this. My grandfather likes baseball games, so I have nothing to say about that. Mortal Kombat 3, I had a lot of fun playing Striker and hurting people's feelings. SimCity SNES, which is really good, actually. I don't even like the original PC version as much as I like this one. I mean, it's basically the same game, it just looks more animated, more interesting. Final Fantasy 3, which is actually 6. I think we actually rented it for the first year that it was out and played it repeatedly and then finished it. And so, it was very strange to actually finally get a copy a year later. What is this? Oh, Kirby Superstar, which is like one of my favorite games of all time. Excellent. I bought the Kirby Dream Collection too. So, now I have 2 copies of it apparently. Mega Man X2. I believe I won this at an eBay auction. I never could get X2. My cousin had it. I had X1 and X3. And then I think he sold it off or something, and I was really sad. So I was really happy to get this, even though I really don't need it, because I have the X collection. But what can you do? Mario is Missing, which is basically Carmen Sandiego with Mario or Luigi in it. It is really weird. It was made by some educational company, so it's not really a Nintendo game. It's just a licensed game. Yeah, it's really strange. Oh, Bomberman! Bomberman! Who doesn't love Bomberman? Well, if you don't, you have a problem. And Bomberman is a lot of fun. I believe Super Bomberman came with the Hudson Multi-Tap. And the second one did too. I never bought the second one. I mean, once you have one, you really don't need the sequels. And we use that multi-tap to play Secret of Mana mostly. But, you know, Bomberman's cool too. I think that was the only one with a really good story mode. All the other Bomberman games are like... ActRaiser 2. Why do I have ActRaiser 2 and not 1? As you'll see later. I don't know. ActRaiser 2 looks awesome, but it's not quite as good as the original. It's more of a hardcore old-school platformer than it is kind of a God Sim plus a platformer. So it requires a lot more skill and has a lot more nuance in the controls and stuff. It can be blatantly unfair at times, but it's still a good game. It just requires a different mentality. Again, expectations do a lot. Same as with Secret of Evermore. A lot of these games are actually more classic than you imagine. Now, this game is not more classic than you'd imagine. James Bond Jr. is not that great. And wow. Oh, let's see. That's an old THQ logo. I have no idea whether it's going to zoom in. Whoop. Well, I guess not. Come on, focus. No focusing. Well, whatever. Anyway, James Bond Jr., horrible. Nobunaga's Ambition, Lord of Darkness. My parents were a little disconcerted about the name, obviously. Any Christian household would be. But it was basically a simulator about the Sengoku Jidai period in Japan, which is basically Japanese Civil War. If you know who Oda Nobunaga is, please go look it up. I'm not going to depict it in this video. I have 2 copies of this. This one's battery is broken. The save battery, so... or is just dead. And I don't know how to replace it. I'm not really a technically minded person. So I went and bought another one. It's downstairs in the SNES. This is a horrible game. Lord of the Rings, Volume 1. There are many, many reasons why it's horrible. Check Part 2 of the Secret of Mana thing, and you'll see why. Mostly it has to do with the fact that the game is hilariously uncompromising and punishing for no apparent reason, and all the maps look the same, so you get lost and you die. Okay, Mega Man 7. I did not do this to this Mega Man 7, okay? Somebody else did this. And it still plays, so there's no problem with me. I like Mega Man 7. I know a lot of people are weird about it. Secret of Mana. I mean, what else can I say? I even bought it on Virtual Console. Secret of Mana is the best. Unless you don't have 3 friends, or 4... No, 2 friends. If you don't have 3 people. Yeah, that's what I mean. And what else? Earthbound. Earthbound! And I am such a jerk that I haven't played through the whole game. I got somewhere in the last couple parts of the dungeons, and I just kind of lost interest. And I've tried to play it again, and I don't know, Earthbound just doesn't really click with me. I bet it would now. I just really need to dedicate the time and do it. And of course it has a little official Nintendo sleeve right there, just in case. You never know. I'm sure the save battery might be dead. I've even put it in a Super NES in, like, forever. And you see that horrible dust. Ooh. Well, what can you do? Mario Paint. I did have the mouse at one time. I don't know where it is now. I love Mario Paint. I thought it was cool. Now that we have computers and stuff, it's obsolete. But, I mean, back then, when you had a mouse, it was very interesting. It even had mini-games and stuff in it. Mario Paint's always cool. Huh, what is this? Super Battle Tank? War in the... Okay, I don't know what this is. I've never played this, nor did I even know I owned this. Well, that was fun. I'm sure the internet can give you more information. I'm certainly not going to. Final Fight 2. I picked this up at a flea market, I think. I like it. It's interesting and it's weird. I mean, it's the only I think it's a console exclusive, so it's not as good as the original, and neither is number 3. Although 3 is really good. It's just, you know, very strange when they design them for consoles. It's designed like an old school arcade game, so don't expect to have it hand the victory to you. Madden 95, again, I don't play sports games really that much, especially realistic ones, and I own this because my grandfather owned it. Alright, what's in here? Street Fighter 2. I mean, who doesn't own a copy of Street Fighter 2? That's pretty much why I have it. I never really got how to do special moves on the controller. I think I use a joystick. Populous. Yeah, Peter Molyneux, when he made, like, games that you would want. Oh, thank you, helpful clock, for telling me what time it is. Anyway, it's actually a pretty good port. I mean, again, Super NES had more graphical capability than PCs at one time. And at least in terms of displaying colors, it looked a lot smoother on a crappy TV than it did on a monitor. You can see the pixels on old school monitors. Uncharted Waters. Excellent game. Very, very excellent. Only surpassed by its, you know, sequel, Uncharted Waters 2. If you like simulation games, it's interesting. Being on your boat and traveling around the world, doing whatever you want, really. Donkey Kong Country 3. This is definitely not in order. I own number 2. It's in there somewhere. 3 is okay. I never really loved it. I think 2 is better. 2 is harder, at least. The first one's probably the best one. As per usual with these things. Super Mario RPG. Legend of the Seven Stars. This is an excellent game. If you haven't played it, you should. And I'm sure a copy's hard to find, but it is on the Virtual Console on the Wii. So, you know what? A Wii is like $100 now, so it's really cheap. And then you could just buy this for like $8. Plus, it's Squaresoft, back when they were on a roll. Civilization, the SNES port. I didn't buy this, my brother bought it. I like Civ. It's just... I don't know, I would just rather play it on PC now that I've, you know, it's hard to go back with a, with a controller, right? Same goes with Final Fantasy MMOs. Breath of Fire 2. I really like Breath of Fire 2. I know people hate it, and the translation is awful. but that retranslation patch is really good. So I was working my way through it, and then I kind of stopped, but I do want to pick it up and finish it off. I don't think I ever beat this. Hard game. Let's see. Sunset Riders, bury me with my money. Come on, you haven't played Sunset Riders? 4-player co-op. It's like one of the best arcade games that ever came out of the 90s. And that's a great port, too. I don't even think there's that many differences. Uncharted Waters, New Horizons. Yeah, the sequel. I think I had 2 copies of this, too, for some reason. We'll figure it out. I believe my uncle owned it. He played it a ton. Super Metroid. What else can be said? Every time I go to Super NES, it's just like, oh, here's a classic, here's a classic. I mean, what? So many things have been written or said about these games already that it's just redundant for me to say anything more. Super Metroid is like the pinnacle of 2D platformer design. It's perfect. It's got that recursive unlocking thing and all that jazz. Mega Man X3. I remember paying an exorbitant amount of money because cartridges cost money. It was $64.99. Can you believe this? That, like, KB Toys. And games have only just gotten to that number. We're not talking, like, just, like, special edition or anything. This is $64.99 back in, like, 1996. Yeah, insane. I think that was, like, one of the one games I got that year. King Arthur. I think I picked this up at a flea market. I don't particularly enjoy it, but Enix's name is on it, so... Yeah, as of Square Enix, huh? And here's copy 2 of Uncharted Waters, and I think we own the Virtual Console version too? Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I? You can play that game infinitely. You can just replay it over and over and over again. Super Mario Kart. I mean, again, what else can I say? Super Mario Kart's great. I'm not sure if it's my favorite one. I'd say Double Dash gets that honor, and I know a bunch of people are about yelling at the screen right now, but I really like Double Dash. So, I look at my Super NES collection, and then I talk about Double Dash, yes. You're the best, Zach. You're the best. Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures. Okay, Pac-Man 2 is awful. I don't understand why they decided they were going to make an adventure game out of Pac-Man, but it does not work. And I don't know why I wanted to buy this at full price, but I am an idiot, and I'm sorry. It may explain a lot about how Namco's business practices are today. NCAA basketball? I don't get it. Anyway, not my sort of thing. I ended up with this stuff. Mega Man X. Mega Man X. I mean, again, I love Mega Man X. I think the X series is great. I'm not sure about X6. X6 is kind of middling to fair, but the rest are great. Super Mario All-Stars. I can't believe they re-released it for $30, but okay. That's great. I hear sounds. Let me go check it out. And let's see. Final Fantasy 2. Where did I pick this up? At like Electronics Boutique for like $10. Yeah. Great deal. I know it's the easy type and whatnot, but it's still a classic. I really want to play the original Japanese version, but, you know, it's not really available in anything that doesn't involve horrible load times. And I guess the GBA port is okay. And it has battle system glitches, and the Final Fantasy IV on DS is slow-paced, and so I guess the PSP version was my best bet. Animaniacs, when Animaniacs were hot. It's a good game, actually. It's not too bad, but it's a licensed property game, so you end up with those weird quirks and, like, you know it's kind of a shameless cash-in, but, I mean, back then, it couldn't have been worse. I really like Animaniacs. I don't know what this says. Boxing Legends of the Ring. Okay, again, another game I don't play at all. Yep, here we go. Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest. It's a pretty good game. I haven't beaten it because of that stupid parrot race at the end. But that was like 20 years ago, so I'm gonna have to go try it again. Chrono Trigger. How you doing, Chrono Trigger? I like you, but I don't like any of your ports. Ah, this is an interesting classic. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters. All the different versions for all the systems it came out for are completely different from each other, and made by different development teams. But, of course, the SNES version is the best one. I'm not sure if it's the best fighting game, but it's certainly a unique one. And it has its own kind of flavor. And I wish more people had actually played this one, because you would really enjoy it. Mortal Kombat, the infamous SNES version, which doesn't have any blood or fatalities. It's really boring. Well, I didn't buy it, so not mine. Romance of Three Kingdoms 4. It's hard to go back to the earlier ones, but I think that the PlayStation 2 ones are the best ones, but it's still competent. I mean, it's Romance of Three Kingdoms. It's hard to really say, oh, this is bad. Another copy of Mega Man X. That was because of the auction, which I bought. Mega Man X2 and Mega Man 7 also came with it, so I was like, okay, what the heck. I don't care. I'll just get another copy. Mickey Mania, which is... you know how they were trying to make Epic Mickey and kind of got mixed reviews? Well, this is kind of the predecessor to that. It's okay. It's a journey through all the Mickey time periods that there have ever been. It's just not really a great platforming game, so... I don't know, if you like Mickey Mouse, you might like it. I really love Disney, but I just don't really love this game. I remember playing Best of the Best Championship Karate. It's not really a great game, but it was certainly fun. Nobunaga's Ambition 1. I didn't really play this one very much. This is another hand-me-down sort of thing. So was Super Metroid, too. That one just came into my hands by pure happenstance, and I'm very happy for that. But, you know what? Any Nobunaga's Ambition game is great. I already have a big article on the site about all those kind of games. Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Great game. Not that difficult. Oh, wow, that Capcom logo is so old-looking. Anyway, of course it's a good game, but it's really easy in comparison to its arcade predecessors. To be expected. And it looks like one more, Art of Fighting. I believe I picked this up at a flea market too. It's kind of a crap port. What can you expect? All those Neo Geo ports are really not that great. I mean, I'm sure there's an exception out there, but for the SNES, it's not powerful enough to do it. Anyway, that was the SNES collection, almost. Except we're missing one or two more things. Oh, well, you didn't see what happened. Super Game Boy! You know, what else do you expect it to do? It plays Game Boy games. The color! You can play Donkey Kong on it, and it does the full color thing. And Game Genie, which was many a helpful thing when you're a little kid and you have no idea what you're doing. So, that's the SNES collection. Hope you enjoyed this video, and you enjoyed my stupid, insane ramblings. Comment, rate, subscribe. Alright, see you next time, and we'll cover the N64 stuff in the Fallen cartridge.